Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with our monthly update here in regards to the gold economy and how we've been trending. Now, got a different video for you guys just because of the fact that, as you may know, as of this time, anyways, when I recorded this, you'll know that I'm on vacation right now, so I wasn't able to obviously capture the full month of May here for activities. Typically, I try to do this update at the end of the month, but as you guys know, I'm away right now, so this was pre-recorded, but this is going to be encompassing the first 15 days here of May. So a little bit of a different take, but as well for us to get a sense of how we're trending for the month of May. And likely what I'll probably do later on is include the last half of May in my June update. So without further ado, let's get started in terms of how we've been trending overall. And for those of you that missed my past videos, that I've done this for every single month, we're really following the same 2024 strategy plan that we've implemented, right? Back then, we weren't sure how much that we need to budget per gold per day, and would that translate to savings? And the answers we came up with was yes, we could actually keep up with the meta, the ever-changing dynamic in Marvel Strike Force, building up teams that we need to do our daily raid battles, arena, war, so forth, and at the same time we can also still save gold. Actually, it's been calculated now that we earn roughly 250 million to 300 per month completely free to play. So that's been an absolutely amazing figure for us to visualize, because now we know exactly what we can or can't do. This is the 2024 overview that's allowed me to stay afloat in arena. As you can see there, in 2024 I was able to stay in the top 20 for the full year. I unlocked every legendary character upon their initial release, which at the time was Old Man Logan as well as Shadow King, and obviously now Quasar is in a completely different format here, right? But this also allowed me the opportunity to stay afloat in the top 4,000, completing Dark Dimension 7. I unlocked Odin as a top 3,200 player, and once again, guys, I'm 100% free to play. No battle passes, no strike passes, nothing. This is all just from careful resource management and budgeting, and making sure that you're aware of what you can be spending per day, which obviously helps us to invest. Now, the reason I like showing this overview here is, guys, you can see starting from June to December of last year, there was actually quite a big inflection here of additional gold. It ramped up anywhere north of 200 million plus, and as you can see, obviously the spending also increased because we knew that we were saving more, so as a result we were also spending more to invest. And that's also when those big events like Dark Dimension 7, Dark Dimension 8 additional investment was needed. But yeah, overall, if you take a look at the total earned, it was roughly 2.67 billion in gold, and we actually spent almost to that nature. But you can see overall spending is still less than the saved, so that gives us the net balance. And that's really what we started things off here in the 2025 update, right? We left off with 432 million gold in December, and then we started off the year with a bang at 536. And each of these have an update here where you can see what my balance was, if there was any one-time events that kind of got factored in, as well as what my minimum gold spending per day was, which still happens to be 6 million gold per day unless there's exceptions, and then we document that. What I also like to do is try to add in, what key events also happen so we can get a trend. And it seems like Shadow King and Old Man Logan trials, it's definitely been recurring in a much more frequent basis than what we saw in previous years. Shadow King returned in January following the initial release in November. Escape Kiln, the Omega Red version, also got released. But you can see for January anyways, our gold balance was an additional increase of 104 million net of the 186 that we spent. As a result of that, when you do math that all out, we actually earned 272 million gold per month, which is very, very consistent with the trend that we saw in 2024. And I also wanted to assess how this would continue going forward, because if we know that the gold economy is not strong, we know that we might have to dial it down and budget accordingly. And with each and every single month, I provide a screenshot so you can see in my account as well where the gold balance lies and how the power cores have also been doing. I just like documenting everything. But February, continuing the trend, right? It was a shorter month, but we still earned north of 286 million gold. Our gold balance added an additional fusion. Now, what was different about this month in January was that there was actually 6 days where I didn't spend the 6 million gold. Just because there wasn't really anything to do in the game, right? So be mindful of that. Sometimes in the game, if there isn't really anything to put investment or resources into, you don't necessarily need to. And it was nice because we actually saved on some additional gold balance there, which later on helps, because we knew in March, Age of X announcement, Professor Xavier coming, anniversary. It happens to be a very, very busy time every single year in the month of March. So you can see here, Shadow King Trials once again returning. We had the 7-year anniversary event, a new Escape from Kiln, even despite that, despite the additional investment in null, and as well as I brought up my Liberty team here, 76 million gold. You can see we still cleared north of 320 million gold here. Massive. My gold balance continues to grow, even though my gold spending has ramped up since February and January. But that's what I'm talking about earlier from before, guys. If you're able to understand and what's happening with the gold economy and make those adjustments from a daily basis to a weekly basis to a monthly basis, we're able to actually thrive and progress. April 2025, this is the most recent one. March to April, we actually decreased for the first time in the last 4 months here, right? Just because of the fact that there was a significant investment made on the Vigilante team, 136 million gold, and as well, obviously April only having 30 days, but we saw once again Shadow King and Logan Trials returning. We had the new Sword Satellite having returned, and as well as the Fallen Dimension Omega, which is partially the reason I brought up my Vigilante, aside from the Chaotic Storm Raids requirement, and more notably, 3 out of the 5 members I am planning to bring up into Age of X for the unlock of Professor Xavier himself. But even though our gold spending actually amped up to 360 million, guys, our gold balance only slightly dipped, and you can see we're still north of 700 million gold, on track to be a billionaire by the end of this year. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, aside from obviously any kind of unpredictable game modes or events that they might bring out where obviously gold investments needed. But it gives me that pivot space, right? And again, I'm building up everything that I have right now to stay relevant in the game modes that I care about. So mid-May update, guys. How does it look in the first 15 days of the month? Well, to be honest, not great, but not terrible. You know, Shadow King Trials once again returning, but we actually did dip a little bit in the sense that our gold actually has not gone up as much as I thought it would. So you can see, okay, we started off with 710 million at the start of the month. I've still been spending 6 million gold per day, which actually amounts to 90 million that you see right there. And then as a result of that difference there, our net right now for the first 15 days anyways is 111 million gold, which is actually less than half the average of the numbers we've seen. But there's also a good explanation for this too, folks. There's been a big change in the Chapter 1 Harbinger. Remember, this is the new Age of Annihilus that we're going to be seeing. So events and everything is kind of structured a little bit differently than what we're used to now. So I am actually curious to see how this is going to translate once May has completed, and then we'll take a look at June as well, because those first 2 months of the Age of Annihilus will give us some more telling information. Having said that, I am still a little bit surprised that it's only 111 million gold in the first 15 days. Now be mindful, 2 days out from this date, which at the time recording would have been May 16th, we do have a war payout that's not been factored in. So this 111 could be actually closer to 124 and 125. And when you compare that 124 and 125, it is almost exactly half of what the previous month was, which is 287. So we're on track, but nothing suggests that this change in the Age of Annihilus has been better or for worse. But this is definitely something I want to be paying attention to, as you can see with that slight dip, lower than expected, right? So again, guys, that's just in a nutshell what's going to be happening. It seems still to be strong. Spending 6 million gold per day is a safe basis to continue to build your gold supply. This is how we are able to build towards new teams, raid teams, especially Thunderbolts, Vigilante being recently added into the game. And again, it seems like it's still a very, very strong gold economy. So we'll continue to manage and obviously keep an eye on this, but I am going to be curious how the rest of May, and then the next update that I provide will be June, to factor those two in to see if we're still up to par what we've seen in the first quarter of the year, which was a very, very strong start. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.